Dun, 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 dun. And we are back for another whale webinar, folks. Raba with you as always, and the man with the plan just coming hot off a fish jam session, Logan Whale Wrangler Brown. Logan, thanks for joining us. And then we have a straggler in the chat somewhere, right? Where's my
Bring
people?
him in, man of the hour.
Let's get him on the stage. There he is, Ilya. Let's go. All right.
He's her.
Should
He's
see
her.
that. So today we have a jam-packed. We actually have. Oh, let's go. Hey, Adrian. Thanks for joining us. There he is. All right.
Hey guys.
Baby Blues coming through. He has the 8-bit on, which is almost sold out. Sold out in large and a few other ones.
Dang.
I'm rocking the exclusive FinHub hat. Shout out to Yakov and our old FinHub. But today you have some really exciting news for our users. If I'm not correct, Ilya? What do we have to unveil for our users this beautiful hump day?
We just made a small update. We've relaunched our Pixel page. We just took that page, built it from scratch, brought in a lot of new functionality, improved some other things that were there, and yeah, we're really happy to show it.
Amazing. So we'll go through the Pixel page. We'll show you how fast it is. We'll show you the pretty new graphs, and then, as always, we'll take any Q&A that you guys have. And then, yeah, so without further ado, Ilya, take it away, share the screen, let the people know what you've been working on.
Sure.
And the cool thing about today's webinar is people can follow along live. So if they want to hop in their own Triple Whale account.
Yeah. Oh, look at that,
right.
Logan. Not just a pretty face and a beautiful head of hair. This kid got heat. Some gray matter up there.
All right.
Ilya, you may need to zoom in a little bit on yours. I don't know if you can expand the window or just like do a browser zoom. Might help people visualize a bit. I don't know how that's going to mess up the UI. Thanks. Nice.
Looks okay?
Yeah.
Cool. Right. So we are bringing lots of new features here. So let's first start by looking at this table. This is the usual view that you've all seen for many months probably now. But one of the things we kept hearing about is it would be great to like break out these numbers. Like I've got 84 purchases on organic, or I got 45 on Facebook. How is that like over time? How does that look? So now you can see that. You just click on any of the checkboxes, boom, you've got a chart. In this case, where you can last 7 days, you can look at longer periods of time if you want. And if you have already used Fluencer Hub or Creative Copy before, you will be familiar with this chart. If you haven't used those products, this is something new. So let me just quickly walk you through. Obviously on X, like horizontal axis, we've got the dates, and then we've got 2 vertical axes for 2 metrics. So at the same time, you can look at multiple channels and you can see 2 metrics if you want. If you want only one, you just select same metric as in the first one, and you'll have only one line left. You can look at the time series chart. You can also look at comparison of different channels. So let's say I want to compare Klaviyo to Facebook to organic. So we got 2 lines, 2 bars for every channel. That is because we've selected the same metric. Let's select conversion value, for example. And now you can compare them together. So that's the first thing that we're bringing here, which is the graphs. And you can collapse them, you can expand them, and when they're collapsed, the way to bring them like on your page is to just click on any of the checkboxes here.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Anything so far?
Well, I think I know you're going to get to this in a minute in the actual table, but show them the cool little trick. So right now in the far left, you have metrics there, but you know, I think one thing that's really cool here is if you wanted to understand like pixel purchases or pixel conversion value this week compared to last week, it's like an amazing way to choose periods and just see like, okay, last Monday I was here, this Monday I'm here, and just see where you're trending week over week or month over month, whatever you're looking at.
And the solid line here represents the current period, while the dotted line shows the previous period. So in this case, like September 22nd versus September 15th. Then if you want to see comparison in the table, you just go to the date selector. We've got the compare to button here. and you choose, let's say, previous period. It reloads the table, and you can see that there were like 84 organic and social purchases this week, 90 last week, so it went down by 6.7%. And when you're done with comparisons, just go back to here, choose none. Page reloads and the table reloads, and you're back to the usual view.
Yep. So for anyone who's like, I think the comparison periods or the comparison is huge. I think for anyone who's trying to understand, like if you're doing a small test on any given channel and you want to understand how it's impacting the business, that's going to be like an amazing way to understand the impact of the test, like after that test period compared to the previous period.
Yep.
Rob is seating us here with a bunch of questions that we're going to get to in a minute. Which can
Oh,
be great.
sorry. Is that distracting? Sorry.
No, not at all. That's fine. I like it.
There's just a ton of people that submitted questions, so I just want to get ahead of it. And you and Ilya have such a mind meld because the Pixel used to be your baby, Logan, and then you moved over to all the other big stuff in terms of post-purchase surveys and all that awesomeness. Then Ilya took over, so it's just
It's a shared baby.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just a witness in the world. I'm like the drunk uncle. You guys like the parents, and I'm just hanging out, having a beer, watching the game.
Yeah, we're co-parenting here. No, we had to bring in Ilya. He's the big guns. So so Ilya, where do you want to go next? Do you want to do like the breakdowns now?
Yeah, we can look at all the sources on the O page since we're on the page right now. So there are certain sources which we have an integration with. That's Facebook, Klaviyo, it can be TikTok, and other ones, where we're not only showing you what the Pixel has tracked, but we're also importing data like ad spend or clicks, impressions, and all of those other metrics. But we can never catch up to all of the possible sources. There's just like hundreds and hundreds of different places people want to bring traffic from. And so we have previously shown them all here. Everything that comes with UTM source or TW source as a URL parameter, they have always been shown here. But now we allow you to actually dive into them, and you can see additional UTMs that were passed with those clicks or purchases. So let's say, for example, attentive, and go into attentive, and I can see that there were UTM campaigns passed in 2 of the cases. In one case, there was an add to cart, no visit somehow, without any UTM campaign. Then I can drop into here. There was no UTM term passed. That's why we're showing not set. Or we can also go and see if there was UTM content. So sometimes it's present, then we're going to show it. If not, we're not going to show it.
Yep.
So anything that comes with UTM source is now like available for digging into. Go ahead, Logan.
No. I think the one thing that kind of bubbled up there, I know we're going to get into it more, but with attentive specifically, as you were clicking through, there were campaigns that were displaying without conversions. And I think one huge thing for us now is that we're tracking all sessions and then displaying the UTMs that come with those sessions or visits. Whereas before, like we really needed that conversion to happen and we would display the information for you. And now we're going like one layer deeper. So if we see traffic from a source or a campaign, we're going to display that for you in the table. That way you can understand from a traffic standpoint what's driving value. So it's cool.
Yep. That's exactly what you're saying. All the sessions, the new visitors, unique visitors, add to carts, email signups, they're now present on all of the sources.
Yep. Very cool.
Next, we have other improvements. Let's see. Let's go into Facebook. Actually, I'm going to make it slightly wider so that everything fits on the screen. Broken link. This is a new functionality. It might take some time to get used to, but we're actually going to further improve it in coming weeks so that it's even better. So the problem that we're solving here is sometimes you might have so many ad sets and campaigns that you might lose track of where you've set the correct UTMs and where you didn't. And platforms, they don't really help us with that. Like Facebook and Google, they have so many places now where you can change UTMs, and by accident, some of your ads are now not being tracked properly. And so we want to make it easier to both see when there are incorrect UTMs and to change them. So what we've done here is previously we had this row called other, where everything that's not mapped by us to a campaign, ad set, and ad would fall into the other. And we've heard many times that people want to really understand what goes into there. And they had to go through a journey of each order, and it was just taking too much time. So now there's no more other. We've broken it up into these lines here with the symbol of broken link. And what it means is that there was most probably UTM campaign passed here. That's how we're able to show you acquisition, broad interest. There was UTM term passed, Nike, Nordstrom copy. And there was UTM content passed, I believe, which gives us the name here. But what was not passed was the Facebook ad ID. And so in order to map any clicks, any conversions to your campaigns, we need just two things. We need UTM source, and we need the ID of the ad. In case of Facebook, there can be a Facebook ad ID. With Google, it's G ad ID, and there are various other UTMs we support. When both are present, we're able to connect all of the clicks, purchases to your live campaigns. We can show you ROAS and all of those beautiful metrics. When the ad ID is not present, those clicks and all of those other events will end up in this broken link section.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be huge for troubleshooting. No, I think it's going to be great for troubleshooting. So if you're ever curious, like if you're ever looking at your table and for some reason you have a big campaign that's running and you're not seeing pixel data, make sure you check the bottom of your table here to see if we're actually tracking it, but for some reason we're not mapping it through the API back to the proper campaign.
Yep. And I've heard that there might be a bug right now where in some cases you will see this unmapped ads here, but also sometimes we might show you an ad that actually has a gray or green symbol, which means it's actual ad that we were able to map, and it somehow ends up in this tree of unmapped ads. So we'll look into that soon and we'll fix it.
Awesome.
One other feature here is order overlaps that we've always had, but now we show you a breakdown of organic. So in this case, it was Klaviyo and organic Facebook. In some other case, you might see multiple organic sources being overlapped. So now we break it out so that you can get more information.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think there's a lot of confusion there around like which Facebook or which Google we were attributing to in the orders overlap. And for anyone listening who's not using order overlap, make sure you add it using the accordion icon at the top right of your page. You can add that column into your table. And it was something that I used all the time just to ensure, like, if I'm testing Facebook and I'm testing TikTok, how many orders are being attributed to both Facebook and TikTok? And is TikTok really driving incremental value? And you can do that for any of your channels, any of your campaigns. And it just helps you understand, like, am I paying twice for a customer? Or are they going through this channel and another, maybe like an organic channel in this case, where you're not having to pay. They're just searching for you maybe. So.
Yep.
That's
and
awesome.
These are all the main updates. Soon, what's coming soon is exporting to CSV, which we're really excited. So we've heard this many times that people want to be able to not just look at all the information here on the tables and now on the charts, but also to get them into CSV and like do your own charts and graphs and presentations. So that one is coming soon in the next 1 or 2 weeks.
Yep. That'd be fun. Robin, do we want to take some questions or?
Yeah, let's definitely jump into questions. Also, Ilya, I think you're bearing the lead as well. This thing's on rocket boosters now, right? Like we went from Moped to Ferrari.
True. So especially if you're a larger shop, So if you have a lot of sales going on previously, the page might have loaded really slowly, or it could even freeze your browser. So now we made it much faster.
If you're an F1 fan, this isn't Ferrari. This is more like Red Bull, Max Verstappen, just so you know.
Oh, great point. Great point. I mean, Leclerc is fantastic, right? But
if his car doesn't break down.
Yeah, they have some issues there. There's definitely some issues in the pits there. What's the guy's name with the funny hair? Who does not take criticism well, but yeah, good point. Yeah, the pit chief. Yeah, great point. The Miami's coming up, actually, for any F1 fans out there. There's some user submitted questions, so you guys are live, so we're going to take yours first, and then we can just make some down. Also, there is a nice little questions tab over here, so if you guys do have any questions, these are going to be the two best people to talk to for the Pixel. They can give you all the deets right now, or definitely sync with you offline. Okay, so the first question is from Matt Layman. I don't know, sorry if I butchered your name, but Matt, thank you for the question. What are the recommended UTM parameters to use for organic Instagram swipe ups with link to shop?
Yeah, I mean, my opinion on it is to specifically differentiate it from Instagram paid. So I would use something like Instagram plus story or Instagram _ story. And then if you're using UTM source Instagram story, we'll display it here on the all page, and under, I guess it would fall under
organic and social.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what would push it to organic and social versus just listing it on the rest of the sources here. Trying to make sure I know where it would be nested. If you used medium equals, let's say, organic social, would that make an impact for them?
Right. So Instagram and Facebook, they end up in social only if there are no UTMs, but there is a referral. So somebody clicks on your domain, profile link, they end up here. They end up on your site. There's no UTMs, then it ends up in social. If you do provide UTM source equal Instagram, but ETM medium not equals paid, but equals something else, it should end up here on the all page.
Yeah. So yeah, my suggestion would be like UTM source, Instagram story to differentiate it, and then utilize your campaign term and content if you want to get to that level of granularity. So let's say one day you're doing a swipe up to promote like a new product. Make sure you label that in your campaign. It could be like new product launch with a date. And that way, over time, you can always go back and reference all campaigns from your organic swipe ups.
Did that answer your question, Matt? Okay, amazing. If not, just ping us in chat and we can revisit it. We have another fantastic one I just pulled over from chat from Dimitri Katrazakis. I don't know. I hope I didn't butcher your name as well. But Dimitri, thank you for the question. This is a UI tweak. Okay, are we able to put green and red colors for profit? It was very easy to read. So when if you have the net profit column, do we not colorize those?
We did not colorize them. Yeah, I'll make a note and we'll do that.
Look at you, Dimitri, driving the roadmap for us. Amazing, amazing. All right. Ooh, this is a great question. Okay, so this is from Ryan Romano. Fantastic question, Ryan. Can we create a custom formula column based on other metrics? Very interesting.
I wish we could, not at the moment, but that is something definitely that we want to look into.
Amazing. Okay, so that is a maybe, and also helping us drive the roadmap. We really appreciate that, Ryan, and it's a really good suggestion. Is there any custom metrics that you would like in specific, or you just want the ability to slice and dice?
Yeah, I'd be curious what specifically would be good.
Okay. You can drop it in the chat, Ryan, if you are out there listening, but fantastic question. Okay, cool. Adrian Tobar, it's a really good question. Is there a reset columns to default?
There isn't right now. I'm curious what would be the use case. So somebody selects columns the way they want, that they want to clear it and then redo it again.
Yeah, I can see the use case in terms of like you build out all these things, you add all these columns, then you just want to start with a clean slate of like, hey, just give me the default columns that you guys prefer, and then I can build from there. Versus because then you'd have to do it's almost like deselecting, reselecting versus like just nuking it back to the blank canvas. Or that's how I exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Somebody has touched with everything, then I'm lost. So I want to start from scratch. Yep. Totally, Adrian. I'm totally tracking. And then Ryan Romano is case specific for the custom metrics. So he just wants the ability to slice and dice. So fantastic. Great questions, guys. Keep them coming. These are phenomenal. Really good. Definitely making me work over here. Oh, this is a moneymaker. So Albert M. Will Klaviyo SMS be separated? Now
that's definitely one of our desires as well. We want to separate them. But I'm curious here, and feel free to leave comments in the chat. Would you treat Klaviyo SMS completely different from Klaviyo emails, like say Facebook is different from Google? So if we were to do, say, last click attribution, and somebody clicked on Klaviyo email and then Klaviyo SMS, you would want the SMS to get a credit and the email to get no credit, right? Or when we do triple attribution, would both of them get credit?
That would be my preference. What about you, Logan? I would prefer the split out, because one of the bonuses of using Klaviyo SMS is that you have your ESP and your SMS provider under the same roof. And that gives you a little bit more visibility versus like using something like Attentive, which is a great product, don't get me wrong, or PostScript. But there's just a little bit more proclivity in terms of grabbing more credit than they should. But where do you land on this, Logan?
Kind of a double-edged sword. I don't know. I agree when splitting it out, but I always like channel groupings. Like that was one of my favorite parts of Google Analytics, and that's something that's on our roadmap too, is like being able to group certain channels together. Like I would want to group email and SMS together. But one thing I would suggest for right now is one thing I used to do all the time is make sure that every single one of my SMS flows or campaigns had SMS included in the name. And that way, when you click on Klaviyo and review your order data, conversion value data from the pixel, you can filter by SMS, and then you'll see all the SMS campaigns or flows together. And you can do the exact same thing with flows. So any flow you have, just like throw flow in the naming convention, and then you can see all of your flows separated out too. But I think, that's where I stand right now.
Amazing.
But it's a good suggestion. I mean, I think
great suggestion.
As long as we could get folks using the standardized medium equals email or SMS in Klaviyo, then this shouldn't be too hard for us. It's just really the product decision that Ilya brought up, which is when we do first click and last click, or we're doing triple attribution, do you want these things split up between it as if it's a separate entity or channel? So it sounds like yes, but for anyone who's used to the current state, that might throw a wrench in it.
Amazing. Fantastic question, Albert. Thank you for that. All right. We're back with Dimitri. Amazing. Oh, this is a fantastic question. I know we are working on this. I don't know if we switched it out, but is the click-through rate still click-through rate all, or is it click-through rate outbound now? Because all of our clicks were previously all clicks, right? All. Versus outbound clicks.
And they continue to be all. So we now show outbound clicks for Facebook, but we don't show them for any other platform that is splitting all from outbound. We first want to bring all of the outbound into the platform, so they have always outbound clicks column. And then we're probably going to replace CTR, change CTR to use only the outbound clicks. But right now it's Amazing. CTR all.
Amazing. And for people not tracking, so all clicks would basically be any on-platform click. So if somebody likes a post, shares a post, what have you, that would be considered in the all click button or in the all click category, but not in the outbound click. An outbound click is going to an off-platform site. And so marketers enjoy that click because they know they're moving somebody to a destination versus somebody's just engaging with the ad, which is not bad, but that's kind of what the impetus behind that question is. So that's a very good question, Dimitri. Amazing. Adrian. All right. You guys are a lively group today. I love it. Let's see. Next question. We'll give out some merch because we love you guys so much. We have some really awesome hoodies. We'll send you guys an amazing hoodie. So whoever puts the next question, we'll give you a hoodie. All right. Adrian Tobar. This is a little bit of a longer one, but so since using TripleWhale, I've been looking at conversions coming from SMS Bump. I've noticed that the attribution on their side, parenthetical, in their application is giant compared to Triple Pixel. Can we trust the data we see, or is there any difficulty in traceability with SMS Bump?
I can't answer about SMS Bump right now because I need to look at particular example. If you send a support ticket about this today and just ask them to ping me, I will get to it probably later today or latest tomorrow, and I can review your account and see just if we're getting any clicks from SMS Bump, what are the UTMs there, where is it ending up in the attribution, and so on.
Yeah, and Adrian, let's look at the attribution model that SMS Bump uses, if they give good context to that. One thing I've dealt with in the past, specifically with Klaviyo, is I believe their attribution in Klaviyo is that if a known profile receives a message and places an order, sometimes those orders will get attributed back to the message received rather than there being a click. So it could be that SMS Bump is seeing this profile, has placed an order, they received the text from you, therefore there's a correlation, almost like view through attribution, that it came to SMS Bump or belongs there, but we didn't receive a click, and therefore we didn't attribute it. So I'd like to look at that and see if maybe that's leading to the discrepancy between the two.
Amazing. Fantastic answer. Amazing. We'll give you the hoodie, Matt. So hit me at raba@triplewhale.com, but that was a bit of a fluff question. So where can we access the replays of today's session? We'll send out a recap email with today's email, but we'll throw another piece of merch at you guys for another question. But thank you for asking that, Matt. Okay, Ryan has a good one in the chat. Let's see. Let's toss this in here. Amazing. So this is from Double R, Ryan Romano. Are there any API integrations with other online reporting platforms / dashboards or ways to export data into CSV? Ooh, very prescient question. I think you have.
Yeah, I just answered the question. Yeah, I just answered the question.
Oh, you're jumping the shark.
Yeah. So yes, exporting data into CSV. That's coming in probably 1 or 2 weeks to the Pixel page. And then API integrations are being worked on. So ability to export data from TripleWhale to a third-party system. Yes, we are working on that API.
Beautiful. Size and Addy for merch. All right, amazing. Done there. Okay, we'll go through we have a new one. All right. Oh, Albert, this is the infamous question. Love this question. This is always a fun one. The only ad without a question mark, quote unquote, at the start of my UTM and FB is showing up in the can't find a match ad set section. Saying this because you guys removed the question mark from the builder. A bit confused.
Question mark in Facebook is not needed. That's why we have removed it from the builder. If you do have a question mark there, our platform treats it okay, but in reality what happens is you end up with 2 question marks in the URL. Some platforms might break from this. Now, why is it that the only ad without the question mark ended up in the can't find a match section? That's something I can look at. I don't know why. Maybe it's a coincidence that it's just like so happened that it didn't have the question mark and end up there. Maybe it's not related, or maybe it is something I can look into.
I want to be kind of precise here because I'm a little bit confused myself now. If you do not have a question mark and you put the website URL with the UTMs in the actual website destination, that should not work. But if you put it in the
So-
URL parameters, Facebook will prefix the question mark, correct? So we need
Yeah,
to be
so
kind
the
of
que-
precise
the-
and
the- yeah, the question mark, it splits the URL
Query.
into two parts. The left
Correct.
part is the page, the right part is all the URL parameters. So if you just have one long URL that you put into destination URL, you need the question mark before the UTMs.
There we go.
If you in destination URL you have only the URL itself, then in the query parameter box you need to put all your UTMs without the question mark. Although, like in our case, we support both, but it's better to not have a question mark in the Facebook parameters.
Yeah, because the other thing that could be throwing this off, like for example, let's say you put a question mark in the URL params box, and in your destination link, let's say that there's two things that could happen. One, you have a variant, so it's question mark variant ID equals, and then whatever the variant is, or your website automatically adds a variant to the destination link. I believe that would cause your destination link to have question mark variant, then question mark UTM source. In that case, that could be causing a breakage in the link, I believe.
All my ads have the question mark. I wanted to test one without it, and it ended up there. Maybe ping us offline, Albert. There might be something that we're missing in terms of nuance, but it should be pretty straightforward. If you put your parameters in the URL parameters for Facebook, Facebook will append that as a UTM parameter and add the question mark for you. I think it's smart enough to know that there's a question mark there, but just ping us offline, either Ilya, me, or Logan, and we can take a look at your setup.
Yeah, you can send support ticket and ask to be routed to one of us.
Yeah, yep. Amazing. Very good question, though. That's to Ilya's point. The way to think about it is the way it's parsing it when you're resolving that URL, it sees the question mark, and then it knows that this has nothing to do with the destination URL, that it's just adding on all this awesomeness. And another cool thing, while we're on UTM's Urchin Tracking Module is what it stands for. There is no actual necessity for campaign source, blah, blah, blah. That was actually just a function of Google Analytics. Google Analytics was just tracking those 5 parameters, and so they became kind of standard practice. But we're rolling out some fancy UTM stuff soon, right? Can I spill the tea there or not yet?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it goes live today, or maybe tomorrow.
The fancy parameters are live today or tomorrow?
Potentially. I mean, really, they're ready to go. It's just really about how we explain to the customer how to use it, and also double check that it works the way it's supposed to. But yeah, go ahead. Tell the people what's going on.
Me?
Oh,
yeah, you sounded excited. No, Robin was excited.
I'm excited. I just kind of only know what you've been telling me. Ultimately, you will not have to add in any sort of source, campaign, etc. Right? We can derive that from kind of what Google does with the click ID, right? Where GA can derive all the campaign, ad set, ad, blah, 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 just from a click ID. We're going to do something similar where you can just add the triple whale specific UTM. You don't have to do source, campaign, yada, 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 or
source and ad ID. So we're introducing triple whale underscore source and TW underscore source and TW underscore ad ID. Those are the only 2 parameters that are needed. And the benefit here is that previously we have always asked people, oh, can you change UTM source to be that? And can you change UTM campaign to be that? And that doesn't always work for everybody, because they might have other systems where they need UTMs to be in a particular format, and they do want to change it. So now we're saying, use whatever UTMs you want. Don't touch them for us, but please add TW source, TW ad ID, and that's it. And things will just work magically.
Amazing. Yeah. Speaking of this, while we're on the subject, because I'm still fuzzy on this, I've asked around, and I know you've done a bunch of research on this, Ilya, so I think you might have the answer. If not, we can get you guys the answer offline. But if you change the URL parameters, does that create a new ad and put it back into learnings, or no?
Well, I guess I've done a lot of research on this, but
it was Logan. It was Logan. Yes.
Yeah. So here's
Logan, because it's not necessarily changing the destination, right? So that shouldn't change the ad ask. You're just changing the tracking parameters. But if you change the actual, if you're not using the URL parameter section and you just change the actual URL, then that would be seen as a new URL. Whereas the tracking parameters is seen as a tracking, or you can color in the lines here a little bit, Logan.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to do as extensive testing as I could within one account, so I didn't break one of our customers. I was using our, Max's account, right? So through the testing, I suppose for anyone who cares at this point, if you are just changing the URL parameters, 90% of the time, you don't get pushed back to learning phase, but you do always go back into some sort of reconsideration phase according to Facebook. So they basically are like rechecking the ad to ensure that you didn't do anything that would be against their rules. But so that means like your ad spend is paused until Facebook says you're good to go, but it doesn't push it back to learning phase necessarily. And then there were some cases where that change does cause you to lose social proof. We found that normally was happening with ads where you created the asset from scratch, meaning you uploaded like an image or a video rather than using an existing post. So yeah, there's some nuances to changing that with an existing ad, but the learning phase really wasn't affected. It was more like the ad just goes back into a reconsideration phase. Like it's I forgot the name of it.
Moderation, approval.
Yeah,
phase.
it's like awaiting approval phase kind of. Does that help, Raba?
Okay. Ish. I don't want to hold it down, but muddied the water for me even more. But I'm sure the folks on here are way smarter than me, so they got what you're putting down. And if you do have any questions, we have a top tier customer success team that will get you any answers if needed. All right, here we go. We're moving and grooving. Again, this has been such a lively crowd. Thank you guys so much for all these amazing questions. Albert, Adrian, Ryan, you've been amazing. And also Logan and Ilya, I would be lost without you two. You're incredible. All right, let's see. Who's this one from? I got to pull up my spreadsheet. So this is, hello. This is from, oh man, this is going to crush me. Kadietautu Hamani Amandu. Totally just made that up, but I hope I didn't butcher your name, Kadatu. Hello, so I really like to know how to scale a TikTok ad to 1K a day. I started my ecom this month. I can kind of jump in here. So Ash Milwani has some really great stuff. Ollie Hudson as well on Twitter's on scaling TikTok ads. 1K a day is not out of the realm of possibility, but just starting out, it might be fairly challenging. Depending on the niche, depending on the AOV. I will say this though, TikTok creative dies. The life cycle for TikTok creative is much shorter than for Facebook ads. And so you can have a Facebook ad live almost in perpetuity, where I've had, when I was running my agency, I had ads that were a year and a half running. I know Logan, when he was CMO at his previous company, he had some ads that had some pretty long life cycles. TikTok life cycles are challenging. So to get to 1K a day spend for one ad might be challenging just because the creatives die much faster. But the real key to scale for TikTok is having a creative infrastructure that you can just smash creative through, where you're just scaling. And you can either scale horizontally, where you have all these campaigns and then an ad per ad set, or you can scale vertically, where you have this one campaign to roll them all, and then you have a bunch of ad sets in there. But hopefully that's helpful. It's a little bit of a nuanced question, but yeah, it's definitely, we had people spending, I think the biggest I've seen is like 30 a day on TikTok. But again, they just have this like monster infrastructure and they're just pumping creative through. So I hope that helps. All right, let's see where we're at. Kevin Reyes. All right, Kevin, let's see what you got. Customer segmentation / analysis, product segmentation with customer KPIs, which prods drive new? I don't think I totally understand this. Are you getting what he's saying, Logan?
He may be wanting to do like more analysis on the cohort page. I guess what I can explain there, and hopefully, I don't know if this person is here live to give us any more details, but for example, we've been talking with Menachem, who's the PM in charge of our cohorts feature, which just got an upgrade recently to a new database. So the infrastructure there should be set for you guys to kind of fly. But that also leads us to more filtering and segmentation. So imagine doing some of the segmentation you do in Klaviyo, but then you can apply that to a cohort analysis. So if you wanted to understand customers that were acquired by Facebook what do they look like over time? Customers who started with this product, what do they look like over time? And then like customers who ordered this product, how are they? So I think that may help with some of this, like this question and what they're trying to get at, but it's on the roadmap currently.
Yeah, and I would also say we did just upgrade our fancy dancy cohorts to like the most awesome, most expensive infrastructure. And so because we give you look back periods to the origination of the Shopify store, depending on how long you've had the store, but if you've had it multiple years, you can even look at your Black Friday customers. So the people that you actually acquired either during the week of Black Friday or during November, and you can compare those over multi-years to understand, is it really worth acquiring customers during Black Friday, or are these people just kind of Grouponers that are kicking the tires and just looking for bargain deals? The product segmentations would be, I would use product journeys to understand what products are being purchased first, second, and third time. And you can see that through a Sankey diagram. We have some great videos on how to leverage that. And then in terms of customer KPIs, I would also, kind of to Logan's point, use the cohorting page to understand repurchase rate, understand cumulative LTV, and then you'll also be able to see in terms of when to acquire people, how much they're actually worth as they manifest through there. So yeah, there's a very good questions though. I hope that was what you were asking, Kevin, but if not, just either ping us on the Twitters or through our customer experience team. Amazing. The chat got quiet. We were popping off, and now everybody's tired. We need some coffee or something. What's the deal, Ilya? What happened? Everybody went to sleep on us.
Ilya stopped talking. Everybody left.
I know, right? I get on the mic, and all of a sudden the room clears out. Jeez, unbelievable, these people. Amazing. Oh, this is a great Logan question. What is your best practice to analyze Facebook campaign with Pixel feature? We actually have something coming out called Triple A University that is in the last stages of the development. We actually have all the content recorded, and Logan did. It's a little bit of a longer video, but these videos weren't made for brevity. They were made for educational impact. And he goes really deep on this actual question. But could you give, let me see, Shahar Gagadi a little bit of love here in terms of how you use the Pixel to analyze Facebook campaigns?
Yeah, loaded question, but let's see if I can keep it succinct.
I got to bring the crowd back. You know what I'm saying? You got to get the crowd back.
Yeah, for sure. Well, all right. So the first thing I would do is just make sure you have like your columns situated in a good place. I think just like you would do in Facebook Ads Manager, that will help with analyzing. So for me, the first thing I like to do is just like spend Facebook data, right? What is Facebook claiming for orders, conversion value? Same with Pixel conversions, conversion value. And we'll start there first. One, you want to make sure your spend is at a level where you can like feel like you're actually making a change that's based on some sort of optimization. So if you know that, let's say you've spent $200, but your target CPA is 50, that means like you would look for 4 orders, right? If your target CPA is more like 20, then you would hope that you have about 10 orders. So, or 8 orders in that case. So make sure you understand like your economics there. How much have you spent? What was your target CPA? What is your CPA now, according to the Pixel and according to Facebook? And how's that campaign tracking? Then the thing I try to look for are largest discrepancies. So let's say that Facebook is saying that one campaign is crushing it, but Triple Whale is not. Or in the inverse, Facebook is saying this isn't doing well, but Triple Whale says it's doing really well. That's where you have to start making some decisions. So it's like, if this campaign has spent enough, and there's enough conversions there where you feel like if you bumped it by 20%, you should see the marginal increase in orders. That's what I would do. So when in the terms where there's a large discrepancy, find those nuggets within the campaign. So the campaign, ad set, and ad, find those nuggets where there's the largest discrepancies and start taking some swings, is the way I say it. Or, basically it's like in baseball terms, like you gotta swing at the ball to hit the ball. So I think you're going to have to make some moves there, cut some ads, take some cuts, and then hit some home runs, right? So you're going to have to drive the ball, increase spend to see what kind of marginal increase you're going to have in your data. Then as long as you're still analyzing, keep moving down the path. Let's look at visitors. Let's look at sessions, email signups. are you seeing maybe a campaign that's driving a ton of sessions, a ton of visitors, but isn't doing as well on orders in the time period you're looking at? It could be that maybe your buying window is a bit larger. So let that campaign keep running a little bit and see if some of those visitors from the last 7 days become customers within the 10-day period or something like that. So high level, I think I would just, make sure you're paying attention to Facebook data and our data, looking for largest discrepancies, and then cut and increase spend in places where you feel like there's confidence. And confidence to me is like really where Facebook and Pixel are on the same page, or Pixel is giving you signals that this is working better than what Facebook might be saying it is. Is that kind of on par with what you were thinking?
That's amazing for me. I'm so just honored to be working alongside you. I absolutely love this kid. I've been trying to get him over the marketing team. We're not cool enough for him. He loves the product too much. He's all product. Ilya steals all of his brain power, and I can't get me none of Logan. But he is coming out. We're actually pushing back the pickleball tournament for him till noon start time, just so I can get this kid in to play some pickleball.
Unbelievable.
By the way,
I can't wait to play.
By the way, so yeah.
Hope you're playing singles. I don't care. Whatever you want me to play.
The fiance is on the fence about doubles or singles, but she's wants to dip her toes in singles, and so if that's the case, we should triple whale up and go. I've been getting third shot drop, baby. I've been doing some homework. So
I love it.
I've met a couple of people out here that have a couple private courts, so it's been pretty cool to get on there.
Private
courts?
Anyways,
for people, yeah, fancy, right? Bougie. So for people that want to know what we're talking about, we're holding a pickleball tournament on November 1. The signups will go shortly. The website is almost done with the landing page. So if you are out in Austin and you play pickleball, you can come out. And we're actually having another event right on the back of that called Creative Palooza on the 2nd and 3rd, where it's just going to be this amazing festival where we have this great venue. There's going to be food trucks. We're actually, the second night's going to be this huge party. And we're just bringing out top tier creatives to show you guys how to craft copy, launch great creative, measure great creative, get UGC systems in place. So stay on the lookout for that. All right, amazing. Great questions. Nothing in the chat though. I still haven't gotten any. We came out hard and then it just died out. I don't know. People don't love it anymore. They don't love us anymore. I'm so sad. So sad. Okay, next question. Ooh. Here's a little heat for you. How accurate is, who is this from? Actually, I need to give them credit. This is from Connor Peliquin. I hope I'm pronouncing your guys' name right. I apologize if not. How accurate is your e-com ad attribution? Greater than 95% seems too good to be true. How do you guys want to tackle this?
I think the greater than 95% refers mostly to ability to identify users.
On clicks, right? It's like, we're 95% accurate on click attribution, because if we see the click, we should be able to identify where they came from and who they are.
Yep.
Yeah. Across different browsers on the same device, like within some certain time period. How accurate is e-com ad attribution? That one is a complicated question, just because there is no source of truth. There is no one place that can say, this is the correct attribution. Like every analytical tool, every platform will show their version of what they think is accurate, but it's not like math where you can say 2 + 2 = 4 and that's it. With attribution, it's up to every platform to decide what they think is the right attribution.
Yeah, and I would build on that a little bit where there's something called, and actually shout out the Simpsons, their baseball team's called that, going back to your baseball analogy, Logan, something called an asymptote. And an asymptote is a line that gets infinitely close to another line, but they'll never touch. That's always what attribution is going to be. Attribution is just never going to be 100%. It's just pretty much impossible. Like if I tell Ilya about a product and he tells somebody else about a product and that person buys, how would you attribute that? So there's always going to be some wiggle room in attribution. But ultimately, what we pride ourselves on is we're giving you the ability to create a narrative, and we believe that narrative is the most truthful narrative that there is to tell. And then from that narrative, you can make business decisions not only faster but better, and therefore you know where to allocate your capital. And so we're not claiming to be perfect. I think anybody that does claim to be perfect is really selling you a boat of goods. because again, attribution will never be perfect, but understanding the story that is happening from your marketing ecosystem is very powerful. And the more truth in that story, the better off you are. And we think we tell the least amount of fibs compared to all the other platforms.
Yeah, and I think, going back to the story though for a second, like one thing, we've got like 19 or so people on this, so I want to make sure the folks who have decided to give us their time, going back to like how you would think about the pixel and use it to make decisions. Think about the pixel as a way to give you an extra layer of data to make that decision and feel confident in it. So even if let's say Facebook is your biggest channel, don't even look at the pixel page yet. You're spending X amount of dollars per week, per day, per month on Facebook. If that's your biggest channel, go to your summary page and find out what your new customer acquisition cost is, your AOV, and your blended ROAS. And do those numbers, are they on par with a successful business? If yes, the first answer is keep spending, right? Then you have to go into Facebook and figure out where you want to spend and where you want to cut dollars. But if your current marketing mix is working and your business is successful on that marketing mix, keep doing what you're doing. And then the pixel is going to be even better when you try to expand your marketing mix, because we can tell you if it's driving incremental value or not. So I think just keeping it simple, that's where my head would be at right away.
Yeah, and incrementality is a big deal. Like, are you driving incremental conversions, or are you just handing somebody an ad when they're walking towards the checkout? So I really like that use. And as always, you answer more eloquently than I. Well done, Logan. Well done.
Sure.
You didn't say the asymptote though. I got that going for me.
That's right.
Shout out Simpsons. Elizabeth Connell. All right, our first gal in the group. Fantastic. Is there an option to see ad frequency data within Triple Whale? Saturation is a big concern lately. Fantastic question. For people that don't know what frequency is just impressions over reach. So you can impress on people multiple times, but you can only reach them once. Logan, Ilya, is there any roadmap or thought process in bringing any sort of frequency metrics in?
I mean, I like it. I don't know why we don't have it, but I guess we could.
Yeah, that's something we could bring. I don't think we've heard it often enough to bring it. But yeah, nothing stops us from doing it.
Amazing. All right, Elizabeth, we will add it to the roadmap and we will ping you ASAP once it is implemented. Look, we're getting all these amazing suggestions. You guys are shaping and forming the product. It's amazing. See what happens when you come on the Whale webinar? Things get done. Things get done.
Building products. Yeah.
Building, baby, building. Thank you, Elizabeth, for that great suggestion. It's really important. I like that a lot. Oh, Scott Tenenbaum and Elizabeth are both on board the frequency. Amazing. Oh, look at this. Shout out Matt. So Matt Lamont, this is a little bit of a Triple Whale pump, but he said he went from spending $3K a day on ad spend for $6.2K in revenue without TDub Pixel in May to adding the TDub Pixel. Well, now he's spending $11.5. Let's go, Matt, for $34K in monthly revs. Amazing tool for us small shops. Fantastic, Matt. That's really awesome. And we can't take all the credit. I'm sure it's your big brain behind it as well. All right, what do we got?
No, it's all the pixel page for sure.
It's only the pixel.
That's pretty cool though. You went from for everyone listening, that's like a 2 ROAS up to a 3 ROAS.
3 ROAS, yeah.
While increasing spend, so that's great.
Yeah, that is like transformative. Oh, Carlos, when the vibe was going so good, you had to put it out. Okay. Integration with Recharge. It would be great to know how the different channels are helping to grow our subscription business. I have been prying for Recharge forever and ever and ever. And there is a way you can do a hack. So in Shopify, your orders will get tagged as Recharge. However, they will not be... You won't get the full robust suite of like churn, etc. You're basically going to understand how many first-time customers you have. You can do some custom metrics as well, where you can say, take my subscription revenue divided by my total revenue, and you can understand the contribution of your subscriptions. I can send you some data on, or some kind of walkthroughs on how you can. It's not necessarily hacking, but it's not a native integration. But do we have any updates on that? They've been really. We love Recharge. It's a decent platform to use for subscription, and they just had a great first mover advantage. but their API is a bit of a hot mess, and it's been a challenge to really integrate tightly with them, because what you see on their dashboard and what we get from the API calls aren't the same thing for the same metric. And that has been a really big challenge, because then everybody yells at us and saying, hey, your API sucks, the integration is broken. So any updates there, Ilya or Logan? Because that's a big one for us. I know people that have wanted to use Triple Whale for a while, but if they're a heavily subscription business, it's a challenge for them.
So there are no immediate plans, I think, to redo the API connection to Recharge. What we've been working on is making sure that any Recharge checkouts are supported in our platform. So we have always supported Recharge with the standard Shopify checkout, which is default one since I think a year ago for any new Recharge customers. But only recently we have started also supporting Recharge for their own checkout, which is the older checkouts, but still a lot of customers are using them. So you can reach out to support and we're going to help you track that. And then we have some thoughts about how to help subscription businesses, but like we haven't really formulated into a product and we haven't started working on it yet. But we do hear often enough that customers want to be able to track subscriptions separately and have different analytics for the subscription business. So this is something that we want to get on the roadmap, but it's still like in the stage of wishes rather than actual like thinking through how it could work.
Yeah, fantastic question, Carlos, and we're very, very aware of the necessity of this, especially if you're a heavily subscription business. Like 70% of your revs comes from subscription. There's definitely a lot to be done there, so it's definitely on the roadmap. We just need to figure out how to, as Ilya said, coalesce that into a strategy to then implement it. But fantastic question. Thank you, Carlos. All right, we're pushing up against it, so let's do Lulia. Oh man, this might be you, Ilya. How would you pronounce this? This is a beautiful name, but Ljubljana Atrasova. Ljubljana Atrasova. Amazing, beautiful name. Is there any possibility of organic purchases being counted towards any of the reported ROAS metrics for accuracy? I'm not quite sure what she means there. Are you guys tracking?
What I'm thinking that this means either I guess to confirm, any purchase is going to go into the blended ROAS. Okay, so it's total revenue divided by ad spend. But this could be alluding to, hey, we spend on Facebook and Google or TikTok. We know that organic purchases, there's an impact there from the ad channels. If that's the question, then yes, we are working on kind of like a media mix model that will help take impressions from all the different platforms you're spending on. It's more than just that. I'm just not smart enough. Maybe Ilya has more insight, but we're going to use machine learning to basically take organic or no source revenue and attribute it back to those ad channels at a channel level, which would then impact your ROAS there. So I know that's on the roadmap and something our team is working on, but of course, like we need to make sure that when we release it, we feel confident about it. So I think it's going to take a little bit of time, but I think it's soon.
And besides that, we're also like, we haven't again started doing the product work there yet, but we've discussed it already. Channel mapping. So ability to map different sources or split them. In this case, we could see organic Instagram being mapped into Facebook paid channel, so that all the purchases that are coming from organic Instagram would count towards the overall ROAS of Facebook ads channel.
Yep.
Amazing. I think that would be even a simpler solution. Yeah.
Amazing. Ljubljana. I got to get Ilya. You'll teach me. You'll help me. But thank you for the fantastic question. Very good question. That looks like it's it, folks. Is there any other ones? Nope, that's it. There was a bunch we didn't get to. I'm sorry. We will do it, but questions that are live get priority over questions that are submitted. Maybe we should change that, but I want to give the people that come to the webinar the ability to have a nice little Q&A with us. So Ilya, thank you so much. All this hard work is just
Sure.
incredible, man. It's so interesting to see how fast and far you pushed the Pixel. It's been really, really
It was
cool to
both
see,
us,
and this is just the
both
beginning,
me and
people.
Logan and the engineers. So it wasn't just me.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. The co-parenting model is working, people. The little baby is growing up to be a productive member of Ad Society. Logan, any other parting words or anything? You want to tell the people about anything?
Ooh, all right. So I did see something in here though that I'll touch on just as like an excitement maybe for a future webinar. Ad management
Okay.
coming soon. I saw a question here from somebody turning on and off, editing budgets, and then going beyond that. And then I think somebody said something about like, hey, are you going to give suggestions on maybe scaling a campaign? Well, we don't exactly have suggestions coming, but rules. So if you want to set specific rules up and automate some of your ad buying, coming up soon.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Look at that spilling tea. Amazing. Ilya, any parting words for our wonderful Triple Whales and or whale webinar attendees?
Sure. I hope that you all enjoyed the new Pixel page, but please forgive us. There will be bugs. There are bugs, and we'll be very actively fixing them in the coming days.
Amazing. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. If you aren't already in Narwhal Nation and you're a Triple Whale user, get in Narwhal Nation. It's sensational. There's almost 1,600 people in there. There's channels for all sorts of stuff on CRO, on UGC, on creative, on pretty much any big thing, media buying, a whole thing in there. It's a fantastic community. We'd love to have you. There's a link right in your Triple Whale app under optimizations. If you don't see it in there, just ping the CX team. And they'll get you a link to join. And then obviously we have a fantastic newsletter that goes out every Tuesday, Thursday called Whale Mail that we would love to have you to subscribe. You can subscribe triplewhale.com/whalemail. And then if you aren't on Triple Whale yet and you do want to get involved, you can go sign up right at triplewhale.com or book a demo with our phenomenal sales team, and they'll take you through everything, put Triple Whale through the paces to make sure that it is a value add for your business or your agency. I think that's it, guys. Logan, Ilya, thank you so much for the time. We missed the big man, Sander, but he's out at a conference spreading the TDub gospel far and wide in Portland. So shout out, Sander, if you watch this retroactively. And then, yeah, as always, we're super active on all the social channels. Our CX team is top tier, as well as Narwhal Nation. So if there's any reason you need to get involved with us, just reach out to those channels. And again, thank you for all the thoughtful questions as well. This is one of my favorite whale webinars that we've ran, where there's just been a lot of really thoughtful back and forth and really eloquent questions. So thank you, everyone that submitted a question. Thank you, everyone that joined. And then if you didn't get the chance to join, we will be sending this out post hoc. So if you registered, we'll send you the recording so you can watch it asynchronously. But that's it from Austin, San Diego, and South Carolina. And we'll see you guys next Wednesday. Thanks for stopping in.